Hi, I am Nelly Bencomo, and I will be presenting the paper Investigating the Potential Impact of Values on Requirements and Software Engineering by Alistair, Sutcliffe, Sawyer, Liu, and Nelly Bencomo. This work has been developed at Aston University in Birmingham in the UK. This paper describes an investigation into value-based software engineering and proposes a comprehensive value taxonomy with interpretation of design features implications. The value taxonomy is used to assess the design of COVID-19 symptom tracker application, contrasting the UK's NHS Phase 1 and 2 designs, which adopted centralized, then decentralized architectures. The NHS is the National Health System in the UK. The value features analysis is also applied to the King's Soy COVID application, which does not detect proximity, instead relying on user self-reporting. Yet another design decision. Value analysis eliminated design choices, but was insufficient to account for download acceptance of the apps. After our research, we argued that motivational cost-benefit analysis needs to complement a values-based approach. To establish our research, we set two research questions. The research question 1 we asked ourselves was, what are the software design implications of values, of human values? Research question 2 was, to what extent do values contribute to the system acceptance? In order to answer those questions, the approach we followed was the use of values metataxonomy by Cheng and Fleischman in 2012. Use values to assess potential acceptance of COVID-19 applications, the one of the National Health System in the UK, an important one. And we investigated links between app design features and values. The table that we are going to show here is based on table 1 of the paper. It's just a summary, and it provides a value taxonomy where we show human values, the possible influences, and possible design implications. The summary was based on the values taxonomy provided by Cheng and Fleischman. Another relevant taxonomy that we could have used is the one provided by Schwartz. However, we concluded that the taxonomy by Cheng and Fleischman is more comprehensive for our case. Also, other pilot studies have found some Schwartz values a bit vague and not helpful sometimes. The subset of values we are showing here are a representation of a longer list. Let's see, for example, the value accomplishment and achievement. Our study shows that possible influences are associated with system functions, features, and software contribution to user codes. Possible design implications identified are functional allocations, social technical systems. For security and safety, possible influences associated are personal data, privacy, control systems, safety engineering, hazard threat mitigation analysis, with some design implications associated with safety and privacy requirements. For the case of broad-mindedness, in the case of a human value, possible influences are associated with adaptability, adaptive systems, customizable and configurable designs that are very important systems at the moment, with some design implications associated with configuration facilities software versions. This is quite related to my own research area of interest. Another value is creativity. Possible influences are associated with design and decision support, obviously, where creativity value is a big issue. Help users to compose and create system variants, and some design implications can be associated to component-based software engineering and software reuse. Freedom and autonomy, another one that is important these days, is associated with possible influences as increasing autonomy of AI, monitoring and surveillance, with design implications associated with monitoring and control functions, AI, machine learning, and socio-technical systems. For the case of equality and fairness, possible influences are associated with implications for AI machine learning training and recommender systems, with design applications associated with the use of AI machine training needed and bias detection. Here we show different illustrations of the case study apps for the paper. These are different applications with different objectives. The NHS one is track and trace, while Sawyer application is self-check symptoms and COVID self-help plus research support. After studying both applications and design decisions made during the months of the first lockdowns, we ask ourselves, how well does value analysis reflect actual use of these apps? The following is a reduced version of Table 2 of the paper. Here we can see how, with the app function feature, security data encryption, but it has a negative implication in both apps, and it's very negative. Is involved here. Security and privacy values has a negative impact on them. While, for example, the feature system explanation in the case of the Sawyer application has honesty, has a stronger positive influence than in the case of a NHS app, while for the case of the function feature content risk analysis is the opposite. The NHS application has the value of helpfulness, achievement of helpfulness has a higher positive impact. In the case of effectiveness in disease control as a feature, it offers the opposite as the case of content risk analysis. In this case, the application Sawyer app has a higher impact with respect to the value of helpfulness. Okay, here what we want to show is that not everything is just related to values. We need to consider other factors as well as values. For example, cost of downloading, cost of use. The application version 1 of the NHS was a disaster because of the centralized data capture, and therefore it represented a security concern. While analysis suggestions say that NHS version 2 and Sawyer approximately were equal. Personal costs of use, both economic purchase operations and, more importantly, effort of use, needs to be balanced against personal and societal benefits. Our future research will expand the ambit of values to include constructs and lessons learned from technology acceptance modeling, as well as developing further guidance on design implications to improve user benefits by value-aware feature analysis. I hope to see you in ICSI, even if online, in order to discuss more about values and the trade-offs needed.
Told me before. Oh! We are live again. Also, let me show you what's going on behind the scenes here. Here's my new PhD student, Christy. And I'm sorry to surprise her with that. But you already got applause from Maria and Charles and Merda. So welcome to the community. And we have Nelly here, who just gave a wonderful presentation on the values. And Nelly, it's been 8 months or longer, 10 months since you submitted this. There's been a lot going on. So do you want to give us a little update?
Oh, yeah. Bridget, thank you for the opportunity to do this. That I thought was that, we submitted this last August. We continue with COVID, and it's going to be with us sometime. So I would like to, can I share a screen, Bridget?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So I would like to share some thoughts that I thought that I wanted to, let me see, to share with you in terms of the work that we have been doing. Let me see if it makes sense. Oh gosh, where is it? It's here. I have too many screens here. So, yeah. So share this one. Yeah. So a lot of is going on these days with this application. This the paper was part of our work in the 2020 Insight project. And the thing is that, yes, we submitted this work and COVID continues. And then one of the things that we are working on is what happens with values over time, how awareness of citizens affects all the process we studied. Over time, we have discovered that people are more or less afraid according to what is going on in their context. For example, here in the UK, we are just leaving the lockdown after being locked down for months, while sadly, other countries in France are just in lockdown now. So the values changes. The values, we have noticed that values of people and the effect on software will change. And this is a very important part on COVID-19. So we are working at the moment in how to study these values and the effects over time using Markov processes. Something that is entertaining me and my research at the moment. Another thing that we are working on is the cost-benefits analysis. Markov decision processes here again. It's not just about values. It's about, for example, how these sets of people or set of values should they need to be correlated? What is the relationship between non-functional requirements and values as such? I think there is a big gap in between the way how we need to work with these concepts. Because of that, and to finish here, we are working now with a survey to see how these values work over time. And I hope to have more results after that survey has finished.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Perfect. And we have a question in the chat by Bashar. Do the values change or their respective priorities?
Yes, and I think that is related with what I was just saying. Is yes, they will change over time, and we will need to study that. And in fact, priorities in something very ugly that I just put there in the screen is that the priorities will change. Is that at some point you will be less or more afraid depending on how badly you were affected. You know, having a person very close to you that was affected by COVID, those priorities will affect over time as well. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the values and the priorities, both of those change. Got it.
Yes.
And then I had another question. When you compared it with the cost-benefit analysis, do you find that it is pretty orthogonal? Like there is the values over here and there's a cost-benefit analysis over here, or do you see, no, there is actually a strong correlation that these values need to be taken into account going into the cost-benefit analysis? And
I think it's the second option. I think it's the second option. Yes, and I think we need to find ways how to be more formal and explicit about those relationships. Yeah. This is what I'm doing in requirements engineering with this stuff.